Here we go again, folks. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Another episode of Two in the Cooler. You have to be following us on Instagram and Twitter at Two in the Cooler, posting clips on there daily, pictures, stuff you're going to want to see. And if you don't already, subscribe to the YouTube. We got full episodes, highlights, everything you want. It's honestly the best way to get the experience of the podcast is to follow us on YouTube. So thank you guys for doing that. Good show today, just Matthew and I. I think you guys are going to like it. Before we get into it, got to take care of some business, and you know where it starts, Instacart. Instacart is the best way to not just get groceries, but some of your favorite local products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour. And did you know that you can schedule the delivery of your products for the time that works best for you? Don't worry about running late. Oh, I gotta pick these kids up. Oh, I have to go to this class. I gotta run to this lesson. Oh, I gotta go to the bank. All this. I don't have time to go to the store. You don't have to go to the store. You just need to use Instacart. And the best part is, right now, Two in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $35 or more. Just hit the link in the show description and get yourself that deal. Start using Instacart today. Make things easier on yourself. Instacart. It's that simple. I also have to tell you guys about the merch. The Two in the Cooler merch. It's here. It's been out for a while. It's awesome seeing all the orders for that come in, especially the summer line, PTP, Protect the Prostitutes. You want to look good, okay, out here while the weather's still warm, okay? You want to look good. You want to feel good. The best way to do that is to get yourself something nice and classy from Two in the Cooler store. Teespring.com/store/Two in the Cooler. Hit the link right in the show description. We got logo merch, hashtag pizza tipping. Matt can't read, like I said. PTP, Protect the Prostitute, t-shirts, sweatshirts, tank tops, whatever you're looking for. Stuff that is going to make you look good and feel good. That's what I love best about it, is the quality of this stuff. Because I hate when you order a t-shirt from something that you're a big fan of, and then it comes and it's like, I'm not going to say some of the brands, but we all know there's that one brand that like makes the shitty t-shirts that a lot of people kind of give out with their logos or whatever on it. Trash. It feels disgusting. It doesn't fit right. It shrinks in the fucking wash. Not here, baby. Not here. Two in the Cooler. Teespring.com/store/Two in the Cooler. Get yourself something nice, something classy. Make you look good, make you feel good. We appreciate you guys. All right, like I said, just Matt and I in this episode. You guys are going to like it a lot. So without further ado, here we go. Thanks for listening. Here we are. Another episode. Back at it. Two in the Cooler in the studio. What are you? Did you go brain dead for a second?
No, I was staring like just
like a brain dead person.
No,
yeah,
just like.
All right, let's talk about taint.
Taints?
Taints. The space between the genitals.
Yes. Why?
I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he said that he had this scientist on, this woman who explained to him taints and why taints are so important. But this explained that there's a direct correlation between taint size, so that distance, and sperm count. So that's like the number one thing they use to determine if mammals are like fertile is the taint size. And
so your taint shrinks?
Well, here's the deal. Not that the taint shrinks, but as a species, the human taint has been getting smaller because of chemicals or whatever in different plastics that pregnant women are exposed to. And it's
is this for women and men or just women?
I think it's for everybody.
Okay.
But I know it relates directly to sperm count. I don't know if it has anything to do with like egg count or something. But
why are you saying pregnant woman then? That would be egg.
No. So like if your mom is exposed to these plastics while she's pregnant with you, you'll have a smaller taint.
I'll become less fertile.
Right, your sperm
from the time
count.
I was born.
Exactly, your sperm count is just going to be lower from the get.
I was thinking in the shower before I came here today, like, what am I going to talk about? And I was like, I don't even really want to say anything. I just want to sit there for 45 minutes in silence. And you come in firing with the taint talk?
Well, I did some research into it myself, just a tiny bit.
You got it. He's got a flashcard. I see a flashcard.
I do have a note just to kind of remind me of some things, but I basically said everything that's on this. Yeah, smaller taint equals
we lost a phone piece.
Oh shit.
Can you see?
It'll be fine.
You can't even see it.
No. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's fine. Studio's falling apart. It's all that damn rock and roll music from outside.
The devil's here.
He's here. And he's welcome. In studio today,
we have
first interview with the devil. Devil, what's your take on these small taints?
Devil loves small taints.
He probably does.
Because he's the devil. I gotta, wait. This side of my hair is poofy.
You look fine. You look good.
What were the rest of your facts? You have more taint facts?
Well, apparently these plastics are also making, like, dicks smaller.
So dicks are going to decrease in size?
I mean, that's the way it seems to be.
People who have small penises blame your mother.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so, yeah. Well, I mean, some people are just, they just get the bad deal when it comes to genetics. But evidently, there's been a trend since, I guess, like, if you were born before 87, you're good to go. Your taint is nice and long.
You have a long taint?
You got a long taint. But then after, the taints have just been getting smaller and smaller in humans because of all this stuff.
What size do you want your taint to be? I want to wonder what size.
I have no idea.
Like, I want to know if I have a large taint or a small taint.
That's what I'm thinking.
Does the taint measure? When you're measuring a taint,
yeah,
is it truly from like the back base of a ball sack to like your actual butthole, or is it just to crack?
I think it's got to be to crack. It has to be to like the base of the crack. And I think it's
base to crack.
From base
to crack.
From base to crack. Yeah. Yes. That's how we define the taint. Okay. If you look it up, the definition of taint is the space between the base and the crack. Yes. So it's just all I've been thinking about is like how people in the past, like world wars and stuff, they're just storming the beaches of Normandy with like these massive taints. And now our taints are evidently so much smaller than that. It's just crazy.
How much larger could a taint really be?
I don't know. I have no idea. Like, that's what I'm curious about.
When the doctor says that they're shrinking, we have to be talking like millimeters.
Yeah,
right?
It's got to be like a very small
And maybe
amount.
They just weren't doing a good enough job measuring taints back then. Because before 87, you say was the year?
Yeah, apparently 87 is when they started doing all this stuff with the plastics.
Before 87, science wasn't even real.
Right. Somebody was just telling me about how butt plugs were originally invented for medical purposes. Butt plugs were originally used, this was the idea, to treat like schizophrenia and stuff, like craziness, mental disturbances.
Just plug their butt and they won't be crazy anymore.
That's the way medicine was back then,
So I think they were just doing a bad job measuring taints. This lady's talking
really
fugazi, yeah.
But I think that
nope.
Sperm counts have apparently just been decreasing since then as a society.
I feel like people say that's because like laptops and phones and stuff like that. Like you can't use your laptop on your lap a lot because that decreases, I think. And phones, they let out waves. That probably decreases.
Yeah.
Anything that has waves is not good for you.
Waves are never good. I think we can all agree on that. Of any kind.
We're an anti-wave podcast.
We're an anti-wave podcast.
Well, we're not anti-wave. We're a wave awareness podcast.
Right. That's kind of the thing. Because
we use waves.
Sure. Absolutely.
And we kind of love waves in that sense because that's how
it go back and forth.
Nobody.
There's a good and bad side to waves.
Nobody could listen to our podcast if there was no waves. We couldn't do a podcast if there was no waves.
Fair enough.
So we're pro-wave, but we're trying to raise wave awareness.
Waves are like anything else. They're fine in moderation. You have to be very careful with waves.
Yeah. Yeah, limit the amount of waves.
Apparently that's true.
I also heard this. I don't listen to Joe Rogan, but they brought it up on another podcast that I listened to, that Joe Rogan had Quentin Tarantino on his podcast.
Yeah.
And he was chirping the shit out of Bruce Lee.
No.
That could be wrong.
Yeah. I saw that headline too, but I listened to the episode, and no, nobody was chirping Bruce Lee. There was like a big thing when...
Oh, I didn't see a headline. I heard people that listened to it saying that like he was really dogging Bruce Lee. So you either interpreted that differently or you blocked
I think
away.
I just interpreted it differently. I didn't get that from it.
I don't know
when the movie came out, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a lot of people were ragging on him because Bruce Lee, the actor that plays Bruce Lee in that movie, gets his ass kicked by Brad Pitt's character.
Yeah.
So people were mad about that, including Bruce Lee's daughter and stuff. And they talked about that a little on the Quentin Tarantino episode, but
I think that I think I might be a little anti Bruce Lee.
Whoa, really?
Here, I'm gonna say something.
Well, you've never liked Asians. That's the thing.
No. I'm gonna say something, and you're gonna have to agree or disagree with it.
Uh-huh.
I feel like you're either Team Bruce Lee or Team Jackie Chan.
No.
Yeah.
I completely disagree.
Well, you live in a different world then.
Because first and foremost, there would be no Jackie Chan without Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, you know how much I love Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
I am a huge Chan fan.
Yeah.
That's what we call ourselves.
Yeah.
But there would be no Bruce Lee without Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan's first, I mean, not even just the fact that Bruce Lee paved the way for an actor to do what Jackie Chan has done across the world, like global marketing wise, but also Jackie Chan's first acting gigs were in Bruce Lee movies. He learned a lot from Bruce Lee. So you can't have Chan without Lee.
Yeah, but you can be Team Chan or Team Lee.
But why would you? What
you
makes
have to
you
pick
think
a side.
What makes you think that?
Because you have to pick a side. Because they're like they do very similar things. You know, they do their own stunts and they're actiony
Right.
and they're in similar movies. So you can't like both of them. If you had to pick one, which one you picking?
Got it. You know, I'm picking Jackie Chan.
Yeah, so
you
you're
know
Team
that.
Chan.
I am Team Chan, but I'm not anti
So
Lee.
No, that's not how that works. You're either with Jackie or you're against Jackie.
I would never go against Jackie.
So you're
Do
with
not
him.
put that shit on me.
Well, I'm just saying, you're either with Jackie or you're against Jackie.
I think you're making sense to me, but I still just Bruce Lee is still cool, but Jackie Chan has just done so much more, and I think probably because of Bruce Lee in the first place.
I think we should talk about. Well, I don't. Never mind. Did you see the fight? We were talking about the fight this weekend.
The Conor McGregor fight. Oh yeah, we were talking about that a little, and I saw some stuff, the day after.
The internet.
Yeah,
You were using Waves.
Yeah, I was using Waves
careful.
for that.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up. That
okay.
happened.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you watched it or had any.
No, I mean, just based on what I see, it seems like, Conor might be going a little nuts. I think he was honestly kind of in shock from the way that fight ended. So maybe he was really kind of lashing out doing some stuff.
I have a question for you,
Okay.
I guess, and it's not so much about the fight. It's about Conor McGregor. So there's obviously a lot of people that are huge Conor McGregor fans, but now there seems to be this new uprising against him of people that are like, he's kind of like a cocksucker now. You know, he's just like blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, that's what the UFC has kind of become all about, right? Is you have to sell the fight,
Mm-hmm.
and he obviously does that.
Yeah.
And the people that are like, oh, he's washed up now, he's not even a good fighter anymore, he's just an asshole. Those are the same people, in my opinion, that are like, but he's entertaining, so I'm always going to buy his fights. So how are you going to sit there and say you don't like him because he's an asshole, but you're still going to buy the fights next time he fights? Like, that's why you're going to buy the fight, is because that's what he does, is he sells his fights.
Yeah. You know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like Twitter in that people are more likely to interact with things that make them angry.
Yeah.
Right?
Than happy. Nobody replies to tweets and says, this makes me so happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But isn't this always the way it goes? Isn't this always the way it goes? And I think that, look, I don't know anything at all about fighting.
Neither do I.
Perhaps Conor is on the back end. Perhaps he is going downhill.
He definitely is.
Okay, there we go. So that being said, his other lane there is all that shit talking.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's how he.
So
keeps
now he's
getting
really
paid.
ramping that up.
Yeah, that's how he keeps getting paid.
Yep.
Because he's still Conor McGregor, even though he's not going to win fights. He just made, like, the guy he fought, Poirier, however you say his name, I think made, like, not including their pay-per-view shares, I think he made $1 million, and Conor McGregor made $23 million.
Right.
It's 23 times the amount of the dude that he would have inevitably lost to in that fight. And 23 times, and that dude's making $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of money.
It's a huge difference, and that, again, from my limited knowledge, just seems to be the way it's always been in that sport. You're either the best or you're just kind of fighting for scraps.
I think there was a guy on that. Well, I mean, that whole main card, I think, like, the very first fight was this O'Malley guy, who I guess a lot of people like. Again, I know nothing about fighting, versus this guy who is like a nobody. He was never actually fought in UFC. He had like 12 professional fights before that. He was 9-3. Whoever this dude was supposed to fight, I don't know if he got hurt or whatever. This dude had 11 days notice to fight, and he got the piss pounded out of him.
Of course.
That O'Malley dude threw like 250 punches and landed 200 of them, all to this dude's face. And he stayed up all 3 rounds. Well, they ended up calling the fight with like 26 seconds left. And I don't really know why, because the guy was still, he was getting his ass kicked, don't get me wrong, but he was still like on the attack. He was actually moving forward. He wasn't even like falling backwards or anything. He was moving forward when they called the fight, but he took so many fucking punches to the face, like more punches than anybody ever should. He's gonna give him 3 years before they're gonna have to lay this man to rest. Like 200 punches, and it was just
that's
like
unbelievable.
Quick jabs.
That's like some anime shit.
Yeah, it was crazy, and he stayed up.
Yeah, that's what's wild.
And yeah, it's such BS that they called the fight. There's 26 seconds left. Like, you could have just gave the man 26 more seconds. He would have stayed up, because at that point he knew he wasn't going to win.
For sure.
He had only landed like 12 hits of his own, but like he shouldn't have even been in that ring. Let him just at least make it go to decision, so he can say like, fucking rights, like, look at me, like you guys didn't. The O'Malley dude that won was plus 1,000 or minus 1,000. Like, gambling odds to win. So that's risk $1,000, win $100, like, gambling wise.
Got it. Whoa.
Yeah, that's the most insane odds ever for a 1v1 fight. Like,
yeah,
all you have to do is catch somebody one time, and he was minus 1,000.
That's pretty wild.
And this dude should have lasted the whole fight.
Yeah, I don't really understand the whole gambling side of it, but I think you're right. At that point, you got to let him have his Rocky moment, because you're absolutely right. That guy, if you get 11 days notice, you're probably going to get the shit beat out of you. You're definitely not going to win. The win in that moment is going the distance.
Well, who's that guy? Dana White is the guy, right? The UFC guy?
Yeah, he like owns the UFC.
Yeah, so they give out bonuses, so they have like a completion bonus. If they go all 3 rounds, if the fight goes to decision, there's like a bonus, I think. So I think there was talk that they were going to give them the bonus, like they were both fighters were going to get the bonus anyway, since there was. I don't know if that's true or not.
Got it.
But
I hope so, because otherwise there's going to be just a shitstorm of people being like, it's fucking rigged. They didn't want to pay out this money, so that's why they stopped it with that amount of time.
Yeah, I don't know.
So hopefully they did.
But this dude, it was awesome. It was really cool. Like, just eating punches in the face. The whole thing was entertaining. I watched the whole thing. It was fun. You want to know what I love about UFC? Like, the number one thing the reason I think it's such a great sport, and it's why some people love it and some people absolutely despise it. They think it should be deleted from history. They don't clean up the rings after, like, in between each fight.
That's crazy.
Like, well, I don't know if they, like, give it a quick what, but
right.
So if there's 5 fights in the main card, and in the very first fight somebody gets their face bashed in and, like, bleeds all over, like, the rest of the card, that blood is on like, you can see the blood stain on the ground.
That's crazy.
That's fucking awesome.
I do like that a lot, but that's wild. That immediately just reminds me of, that's something that never could have happened during the AIDS epidemic.
Yeah, when,
you know
when
what I
Magic
mean?
Johnson was playing basketball.
Like, the protocols in the NBA is still, if someone starts bleeding, everything fucking stops, and, like, they gotta do all this crazy
the NBA,
stuff.
You know how I feel about that league.
Yeah. But they're still, living in the past with that age shit. But that is some serious Roman Coliseum shit.
So now that we're on the NBA, what do you think of the whole USA exhibition game?
I don't even know what the deal with that is. I saw something about it.
So they played an exhibition game before the Olympics against Nigeria, and they lost.
Really?
90-87.
Well,
is Coach K still the coach of the Olympic team? Is he always forever the coach of the Olympic team, or does it change?
He has been for a long, long time. Since
he's not this year, though?
I think I might be misremembering this, but I feel like I heard that this year was his first year not doing it since he, had started doing it. I don't know if that's true. As far as that exhibition game goes, they probably just weren't. They probably just didn't care. The NBA sets up a lot of stuff for international markets. So, and also, what is this going to do? This is going to make all the other countries a lot more interested, right?
Well, here's my take on it. It's just an exhibition game. Mm-hmm. They're going to get more players. Like, the deeper they go, the longer, like, time goes on, they're going to get more players when the NBA playoffs are done. Right? Like, Devin Booker's American. Mm-hmm. Probably, right? He'll probably go play. Chris Paul, I don't know. He's old. He probably not go play.
Yeah.
But, what I was going to say is I just think that it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's what exhibition means, but
because I feel like they're just going to go out there and do their usual curb stomping.
Yeah, without.
And also, I feel like usually their first game of the tournament starts off like a close first half. Sure. They're like, we're just going to go back, and then they're like, we can't lose. We might as well just go fuck them, and then they just ram them. And since this exhibition game happened, now maybe they don't need that warm up half, and now they're just going to go stomp on throats over in Tokyo.
Yes.
When does the Olympics start? I love the Olympics.
I don't know when they start, but hopefully soon. Summer Olympics are phenomenal.
I like the Winter Olympics better.
I think you might be the only person that feels that way.
Well, yeah. I should say that it sucked when they didn't let NHL players go. That's a big part of it to me is hockey. Mm-hmm. But like snowboarding, skiing, stuff like that, electric to watch. Swimming is a Winter Olympic, isn't it?
No, swimming's summer. Olympic? Yeah.
What else is winter?
Winter, you got all the sleds, bob, sled, luge, curling, that triathlon or biathlon with the skiing and shooting.
No. That's called decathlon.
Okay.
Right?
No, that's biathlon. Decathlon is a summer thing.
No.
Because that's not
called biathlon.
That's what Bruce Jenner, R.I.P., competed in when he was doing track and field in the Olympics back in the day. When he was still Bruce, he was a decathlete. It's biathlon because there's two things you do. Yeah, I know. You shoot and you ski.
ski.
That's two things. That's biathlon.
Why did I think it had a different name?
Because it's such a fucking crazy event that it feels like it should be called something else.
Yeah, I wonder where that one started. What else?
With the Alaskan
I'm
bush
just
people.
I'm
Just going to
look it
Google
up.
winter
Yeah.
sports. See, the fact that you even have to do that, I think, is a point towards the Summer Olympics' favor.
Yeah,
I
I'll
feel
be
like
honest,
we just
I
named
thought-
most of them.
I thought curling, ice hockey, biathlon, bobsled, figure skating, luge, ski jumping, snowboarding. The fuck is skeleton? Oh, speed skating.
Right.
Yeah, all the skiings. Figure skating, did I say that?
Yeah.
This one just says ice skating. That's not a
Okay.
sport. Luge.
Yep.
Ski jumping.
Yep. Here's the thing though, is with a lot of those
I think I overestimated the amount of sports that I liked
Right.
in the winter. I think it's just all a blur to me.
Let me tell you what the biggest difference
Look at
is
the
for me.
summer sports.
I think that because with a lot of those sports you just named, ski, jumping, snowboarding, whatever, the contestants are going at different times, right?
Yeah.
But if you have something like swimming, beach volleyball, it's literally head to head.
Yeah, beach
like
volleyball's
you're seeing
fun.
them.
All
Beach
right, so we
volleyball
got
fucking rules.
swimming, soccer,
Yeah.
all the we'll just call it track and field.
Yeah, track
stuff.
and field, sure.
Handball,
Ooh, handball. Okay.
basketball,
Yeah.
tennis.
Rugby.
Tennis is a
Mm-hmm.
fencing,
Right.
rowing, sailing, archery, gymnastics, weightlifting, boxing. I don't think this is the correct list.
Those are all in
Wrestling,
there.
yeah, but this says golf.
Yeah. Golf might be new though.
I thought they were bringing baseball back.
I didn't know baseball was ever in the mix. But I feel like pre-pandemic they were like golf coming to the Olympics. I don't know.
Summer Olympic sports, Olympic Games. This says 3v3 basketball. 3x3 basketball. What's that?
That's like 3-on-3 league. I don't know if that is
That's an
true
Olympic
either.
sport.
Well, again, it might be new.
Six countries punch ticket for Olympics at 3x3 basketball.
See, what does that
USA
even mean?
3x3 women win Big 12 international. Yeah, there's only 4 girls in the picture.
That's funny.
Why you can't miss women's 3x3 basketball. That's a thing? Maybe they.
Apparently.
That's cool.
Well, I know that there are some.
All right, here we go.
3v3
3v3
things,
basketball, archery, arctic gymnastics, artistic gymnastics, artistic swimming, track and field, badminton. Yeah, baseball, softball, it says.
Oh, all right. I think those are back in the mix. I think those are new.
baseball.
Like, in it. Like even, like speed skating is cool.
And then basketball, beach volleyball, BMX freestyle. They got BMX freestyle in the Olympics.
Again, might be new. I've never seen it.
This says Olympics.com, but it
Yeah.
doesn't give me a ton of information. Boxing, BMX racing, some canoe and kayak flat water, canoe and kayak slalom,
That sounds right.
diving, equestrian, fencing, soccer, golf. Excuse me, handball, field hockey. Golf is in the Olympics this year?
Yes, it sounds familiar. I feel like I heard something about that.
Too rare for... Why do they call it rare? This is like the third time the words rare has been used.
I don't know.
Oh, wait. I should have just scrolled down longer, I think. Before Rio 2016, golf had been on the Olympic program twice, 1900 and 1904, held in October 2009. In 2016, the titles of golf Olympic champion were awarded for... so they had it in 2016? I guess I didn't really golf, though. I was just graduating high school
Sure.
when that happened. Wasn't in my phase yet. Let's go to the baseball, softball section and look at the history of that. This is great content right now. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Are you curious? You're not curious?
No, let's hear it. I'm curious about baseball.
It's featured several times
Bless you.
on the Olympic programming. Included as a medal event in the Olympic Games in Barcelona in 1992. Cuba won the gold medal on the sport's competitive debut in before it was removed. So it was removed in 2008.
Wow.
Softball was introduced in 1996. Streak 2000 were beaten. Softball's usually in the Olympics?
Beats me.
Two team. I know what baseball. This is the history. Olympic history of softball. Yeah. Tokyo, since both are hugely popular in Japan, the Tokyo 2020 organizing committee used its status as host country to introduce baseball and softball on the program once again, thanks to the International Olympic Committee's Olympic agenda, which allows each country hosting Olympics the chance to add sports to the program for that edition.
Ooh, that's crazy. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know you could.
So what do you think they're going to do with baseball? Because baseball season will be going on, right?
Probably just have amateurs, I guess.
Yeah, college baseball play. Like,
sure.
Make it
Yeah.
Which I do not really understand why the only sports that do that are hockey and basketball. Like that a lot. Because the Olympics is an amateur event.
Right. Well, they didn't for a long time. But I don't know. I guess they just want it. They just want to win. They just want those gold medals. So might as well toss
July
your best in the ring.
23rd they start. So that's next week.
Oh, wow.
Next
All right.
Friday.
Cool.
I did see, though, that Tokyo is like a shit show right now.
As far as like trying to get everything
No, like COVID's
together?
back. Like the whole place is locked down again. Like there's going to be no fans at the Olympics or anything.
That's rough.
How do they not have this figured out yet?
I don't know. Maybe they don't have vaccines or something. I don't know what the healthcare system is like in Japan.
Japan's not small. I mean, I guess they're geographically small, but they're not small.
Right, they got a lot of people. But that's a perfect breeding ground for disease, isn't it? A bunch of people.
But I mean, like
from
like a government perspective too, like they're not small, right? Like, so how do they not have some vaxes? Especially, honestly, how do you not give Tokyo the vaccine first? Honestly, like they have the Olympics coming in. Just do like they used to do with the mosquitoes in Wheatfield and just bring an airplane across and just vaccine
spray everybody. You got to pay, baby. You got to pay to play.
Well,
That's
yeah,
pay
for that shit.
They might not. They might not want to. Or
the IOC should be
know.
paying for that shit. The Olympic Committee should be like, we need to get all these people vaccinated so that we can have fans there, so that we can make money. Because then in turn, Japan will make money. Because the Olympics is the biggest screw job ever. Did you know that?
Yes, absolutely.
Countries or cities that host the Olympics get fucked.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Pour in all this money. They make these like $1 billion bids to get the Olympics there, and then they have, some tourists there. And in Japan's case, not even now, but you have some tourists there for like a month and a half, and then you just built like an entire brand new city's worth of infrastructure that you are in severe debt from building, and now it's going to sit there vacant literally for the next 60 years until somebody tears it down.
Exactly. There's no other use for these Olympic arenas, and it's so crazy that they just have to build them in every single city that hosts the Olympics. Like, you have to build this stuff.
So my facts are going to be a bit jumbled here because this was a few years ago when I was going to school for sports and stuff like that. But when the Olympics was in California, when it was in LA, I think it was 19...
It sounds like an 80s thing, right?
I think it was 80 because I think that's when the summer and winter were still the same year. Because winter was in Lake Placid in 80. It was around there. the prior summer Olympics, I think, was in Montreal, 76. I want to know if these numbers are correct. You got your phone on you? Fact check me while I'm talking. And Montreal got rinsed. Like, they got big time fucked. So, like, nobody was bidding to bring the Olympics in because people were like, honestly, we don't want to fucking pay all this money. So LA got the Olympics for like the cheapest they've ever been because they were one of like the only places to bid, really. You know what I mean? And so people are saying that might start happening again. Like,
okay, 1984 was California, was Los Angeles.
When was Montreal?
Let me look that up. Montreal.
I think it was 76.
76 is correct.
So where was 80?
Let's find out.
I know winter was in Lake Placid. Where was 80 summer?
Where were 1980 Olympics? Oh, that's when were the 1980 Olympics? Probably guessed that one.
Oh, no, you're doing the old guy face. Come on.
Yeah. Moscow. Moscow was 1980.
No, they didn't happen. We didn't go.
We didn't go, but they were still there.
Because it was the Cold War.
That's right.
That's why we don't know when they were.
Wow.
Where they were.
Yeah. It's erased from the U.S. history books.
Wow. Look at that.
That's funny.
Folks. We are a history-first podcast and a real history. Yeah. Not this bullshit you get in the textbooks. The real stuff.
Yes, absolutely. We always have
deep.
been. Mm-hmm.
We dig deep.
Rosa Parks was a plant. Look it up. Did you know that?
No.
So.
Oh, no.
I know, but let me look up this. And there's a lot of fact-checking in this episode. This is the most we've ever had to fact-check. So.
Well, we're just new boot goofing a bit, so.
So, what the fuck did you just say?
We're new boot goofing.
That's awesome. I don't know what that means.
You know,
new boot goofing?
It's you've never.
Is that like
the Reno 911 thing?
Oh no, I never watched the letter. Let me look this thing up first. We can't all be looking.
No,
up
I know
all this
you
stuff.
look up.
Okay, let me see.
I'm already. Yeah.
Okay.
I already got mine. What's taking so long?
Well, I have to think of the fucking keywords to find out.
Will you watch this?
Okay. Oh yeah, here it is. Let me finish what I'm saying first.
Rosa Parks was a plant.
So Rosa Parks was a plant. Originally,
there's a statue of her.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So.
Oh, she was planted?
What? What do you
she was planted on that bus?
Yeah. Like that whole moment was orchestrated. So here's the deal. Originally, in 1955, I'm getting this information hot off the web, but it's factual. You can all look it up. Claudette Colvin was this pregnant teenager who refused to give up her seat in the front of the bus to a white guy. And, that's a big deal. She was like, no fucking way, I'm getting up. But, whoever, some of these civil rights leaders, they were like, this is cool, but we can't have an unwed pregnant teen be the face of this movement. People are going to crush us. We need somebody that people are going to be able to get behind. So Rosa Parks enters the picture, and they put her on the bus, set the whole fucking thing up, and there you go. But it was originally this young girl, Claudette Colvin.
That is somewhere out there. If you're listening, Claudette Colvin's ancestors, you have to Ben Gates the shit out of this. You have to mark your ancestors' name into history by uncovering all the facts. There's a treasure out there somewhere that you could lead yourself to that would know all that stuff.
It's so crazy though that because a lot of people are aware of that. Like people know about Claudette Colvin, but when they're printing the books, the history books for elementary schools, whatever, it's still all about Rosa Parks. And it's weird because I feel like the reason has to be they just don't feel like doing the work to correct themselves
and uncover that whole story. Like,
right.
You have to. Now Rosa Parks did it second, so you know what I mean?
Sure.
When you said that Rosa Parks was a plant, Andrew,
Did you think I meant like a ficus?
I thought you meant that. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I didn't understand how it was going to tie in. I thought you were going to say that, like, Rosa Parks wasn't a real person. There was a plant.
You thought I meant that somebody had, like, what do you call it when you trim the hedges in that way? There's some fancy word for, like, hedge art that I can't remember.
No, I didn't think that, like, they made a person out of hedges. I thought you meant, like, I don't know. I thought there was, like, a plant involved, and Rosa Parks wasn't a real person. They based her off of a plant or something.
A brave fern tree refused to give up its bus seat.
Or, like, I thought maybe there was, like, somebody on a bus that, like, put a plant on their seat, and
Rosa Parks, like,
no, and like somebody was like, move your damn plant, and they're like, no, and they were like, we could use this to our advantage. We should make that plant a African American lady. I didn't know it was gonna happen. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
You said she was a plant. I would have said like the whole thing was set up or something.
Which is saying the same thing, just
no,
differently.
because she wasn't even really. She wasn't necessarily
planted on that bus. Yeah, she was.
She was. I guess I wouldn't use the word plant for that because.
Me using the word plant
she was there intentionally.
She was there intentionally. Me using the word plant is because, to me, that story is about them covering up Claudette Colvin, so it feels a little espionage-y.
It's okay. I understand.
So that's why I would use the word plant in that case. This is a Rio 911 thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. No, I'm gonna mute that.
Okay.
There's no free ads for this.
I don't know if we can play any of this.
Oh.
It's going to be
funny.
Well, we're going to get flagged for it on
YouTube
if we play it. You can say what happens.
No, you got to watch the video. He's new boot goofing. That's what he says in the video. It's like a minute long.
Which character says it though?
I've never watched Reno 911. It's just a thing that you know. People just know new boot goofing.
Well, I like it a lot. I'll look up what it means.
New boot goofing, and he is. He's got new boots on.
Yeah, see, I get it.
Goofing.
Yeah, that's what I thought it meant.
Yeah.
See, I thought you meant his boots were like shrubs that somebody had trimmed up.
His boots were plant. His boots were, lilacs. His boots were made of lilac. Fucking A. What have we even done anything? I liked the whole fact-checking segment that we had going on.
Mm-hmm.
You got any facts we need to solve?
Let me ask you this. Because Britney just got a new lawyer.
Yeah, so yes. Did you see that, like... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I gotta be honest. Like, is this gonna work? Like the Free Britney thing? Like, is it gonna work?
I think it is.
Obviously,
here's what I think will happen.
Working.
But here's what I think will happen. Even if like they, the lawsuit happens and they determine like, okay, she's not fit to be on her own.
Yeah.
I think there's a case to like take the like her rights away from her father, right?
Yeah, just switch the conservatorship.
So she'll be free from
him, which is the problem, apparently. So I feel like and that
I saw there's
something
a bunch
that I
of
did
like
not
female
understand.
pop stars that are like huge in on the movement too. They're like donate or giving her some money or something.
They're supposedly gonna set up some kind of thing. This was a week ago. I
Like,
haven't heard anything about it since. But some kind of
one of those things that they used to do in like the 90s where it's on TV, a telethon, and you call in and they answer the phone.
You get a free Britney tote bag with your donation.
I'm in for a free Britney tote bag.
Oh, 100%.
I would donate the shit out of it. I'd call 3-4 times just to get on air.
Just to get different tote bags.
Yeah.
Oh,
they give out different ones?
No, you just have four of the same tote bags, but you can use them for different things.
And then I could sell them on eBay for more than I donated to the Free Britney Foundation.
That's an excellent idea. Because there's, it's while supplies last. That's why you have to donate quick, people. Because these tote bags are flying off the shelf.
And they do. Oh, and they will.
But I'm saying that.
She's coming out with an album. She's going back on tour.
Britney?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Oh, okay. Because that'd be fucking awesome. That would be so crazy,
I'd
dude.
go, what's that one song? Give me, start naming some Britney Spears songs, go.
Toxic.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something?
Is that which one's the one where she's the flight attendant? in the music video.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's
yeah.
prime Britney. She was
What is that? I'll look that up.
She was, looking good back in the day. Now she's,
Well,
sees
one of the
people
things I'm
and
like,
stuff, but
is this gonna work? She posted this thing that was something about
know
her,
that I'm toxic.
her maids. Like she posted some like herself in like this maid outfit that had like a big hole in the cleavage. She basically so the first photo, it's like 3 photos. The first one is her like in this costume being like, I got the best maid outfit. Maybe my maids couldn't make it because of the weather. I think that's what she said. But I got the best maid outfit. And then the next 2 pictures are literally just like right there.
And the
We're
boobs.
like, okay,
if she's
Britney,
going to be free. She's going to start selling that sex
Apparently.
appeal again.
that's
Britney,
what
you
gotta
do you, man. You do you.
Britney Spears.
Dun.
But can I tell you how I know?
I know what.
It is Toxic is the airplane one.
Yeah, I thought it was.
When you're talking Britney songs, if it's straight white guys, the answer is always Toxic. They always love Toxic, dude. I've
What's
heard
the
that
other
from
one I was
everybody.
thinking of?
I don't know if I can even name any other Britney Spears song. Well, what's that called? Hit Me Baby One More Time. That's like the most popular one of all time. I don't know what else. There's a one that's like I'm a Slave for You, which she has a snake in that one. I'm pretty sure that's Work Bitch, which was like the last one from like 2014 or something.
Oops, I Did It Again.
Oops, I Did It Again. That's a classic for sure.
Womanizer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a womanizer. Yeah, that's all I know. She got a song with G-Eazy?
I don't know.
Yeah, called Make Me.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
This is old Britney Spears. Looking at this picture. Born to Make You Happy. Ever heard that one?
No.
Neither have I.
Who knows
see.
when that could have been from?
It says, that's the same as the Baby One More Time album.
Right. Which is like OG, I think.
Yeah, let's see when it came out. Guess.
I'm going to guess 1993. 95?
No, 99.
No,
we were thinking
okay.
I
was thinking way back when. Really? That's interesting. I always thought
Deep
of Britney
in My
as like
Heart.
that sounds familiar.
No. Oops, I did it again. What song is that? Is that Hit Me
Got
Baby
lost
One More
in the
Time?
game.
Oh, baby,
baby. I think that song is just
Hit
called
me,
Oops, I
baby.
Did It Again. Yeah, I think that's a whole separate song.
Oops, I did it
That's
again.
for sure its own song, I believe.
Yep, it is.
Yep.
Oops, I did it again. When did this come out? That came out in 2000.
Got lost in the
Okay.
game.
Oh,
baby.
Think
I'm in love. Get from above.
I'm not that innocent. Yep.
This is why people
So
tune
we're
in.
starting a Britney Spears cover band.
Hell
Come
yeah.
see us whenever you feel like. We do shows all the time per request.
But I feel like this Britney case could potentially go to the Supreme Court. I know
that would
it's
be the most US of A thing of all time.
wouldn't it?
4th of July, Britney Spears Supreme Court case. 2 most American things that have ever happened in the world.
Absolutely. I really think that it has the potential to
That's
go there because
A holiday. That becomes a holiday. And so you have to eat at least 14 hot dogs. Whatever day that trial ends is a holiday if she
absolutely.
wins. If she loses, then we riot against the government.
This is like I really think that it could go to the Supreme Court based on my minimal knowledge of the subject because
Do you know anything about
conservatorships.
the Supreme Court? I know you know a weird amount about conservatorships from that movie, that Netflix movie.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where I know all my information about it.
Yeah.
That's the only knowledge I have.
So, so here's the thing. Now I'm remembering. This is why I think it could go to the Supreme Court because technically speaking, as an individual that is bound by a conservatorship, Britney Spears, technically speaking, it's a gray area whether or not she can even legally hire a lawyer.
lawyer?
Yeah. So now this new guy she's got, Matthew Rosengart, who
Note
also
card.
spells his name. Yeah, I had to read that. I couldn't remember his name. Also, Matthew with 1 T.
This was just recently brought to my
Untrustworthy.
attention.
But so he's now going to court, like in the next couple of days, to say that she has a constitutional right. So that is something that maybe could make its way all the way up to the top. And then this conservatorship case, who knows?
I
where it's
always
gonna go.
knew that Britney Spears was going to leave her mark on history.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that it was going to be as far as the Constitution itself.
It cuts deep.
I know a Matt. Back to this though. I know a Matt who spells who only uses 1 T when it's Matt. I don't know if his name is Matthew. It might just be Matt.
Yeah, see, that's different for sure.
But if it is Matthew, I don't know if it's 2 T's or not. But yeah, somebody brought this up to me recently, like that they know a Matthew that spells their name like they're a French person, but it's just Matthew, and it's got 1 T in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You want to know what I don't know if you ever like this ever crosses your mind, but do you think it was like intentional that our names end the same way? Like, do you think that our parents were like, yeah, Andrew and Matthew, they both end in EW?
Yeah. I used to think about that when I was little a lot.
Oh, so my brain just hasn't progressed yet?
Yeah, I think you're
day.
just you're catching up on your wrinkle count. Is starting to get to where mine was. It works though. It works well.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And you know what? There are some people, like siblings, their names when said together sound like shit. It's a big deal. I think they were thinking ahead. Our parents, that is. They were like, okay, if this thing ever, if these two ever do something, it has to sound good on paper.
You want to know another thing that I think about a lot? Is a name that I love for a child, like if I were to ever have a child, is William.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want people to call him Bill. I want him to be William.
Ooh, I'm the exact opposite. I have had this fight with my fiance many times. I want my son to be named Bill. Not William, and then Bill for short even. I just want Bill. Like fucking Bud Not Buddy, that book. Remember that book from 4th grade?
Buddy, yeah.
Bud Not Buddy, Bill Not Billy, not William, just Bill. William,
hate that name.
you hate the name Bill? You're a lunatic. Bill is a strong name. It literally has 2 pillars at the end of it.
You're such a cocksucker for just saying that. How many times have you made that pitch that exact way?
That's the first time, and
No.
I think it works really well, actually.
You didn't
that
just come up with
There's
no
came to
way
the dome.
you just came up with that.
Well, I did, Matthew. That's what I'm telling you right now. I 100%
Let me
did.
see your note card.
It doesn't say
It's
anything about
literally
Bill on there.
right on there. It's literally the first thing it says.
No, it's not.
Yes,
it says.
See how he had his fingers covered?
No, look.
They can't
Wait, I'll
see
show it to that camera. Zoom in on that for the viewers at home. It says plastics, and underneath that there's
Taints.
subsections: shrinking dicks, shrinking taints, asterisk, smaller taint equals lower sperm count. Next to it, in parentheses, aliens low sperm, and then under that it's will free Britney work, Supreme Court, new lawyer in his name, and then federal weed war on drugs is the other thing I have.
Should we
written
get
on
into
here.
that then?
All I have to say about that is that I think that
What is it?
well, today or something, some high up.
Body.
Shout out to Smash Mouth, baby.
Yeah. Just shrekking around.
Just Shrek it around.
Just shrekking off.
Just Shrek it off. You Shrek off on your own time. We'll get pulled off of YouTube for that. Today or something, some like high up Democratic folks introduced a federal weed bill to legalize weed federally. And a lot of people, and a big thing they were saying is like, the war on drugs failure, we got to just make weed legal. Because weed has fucked with a lot of people, like misdemeanor crimes. I think, and all I can say is that I think there should be a war on drugs, but it should be the drugs that are lining their pockets and not the ones that, we're all using and having a good time with. It
Here's
should be
my
the
thing on the war on
opioids.
drugs.
Oh my God, this is not going to go well.
Well, because you said they lost the war on drugs. Yes,
no, not that
no.
they lost it, just that it was a little fucked up.
Well,
Like,
here's the thing about the war on drugs
Uh-huh.
is that the war on drugs, I think, initially started because it was a war because it wasn't really like drugs were coming from everywhere else. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like drugs were coming in from South America and stuff like that, and that was the war on drugs. They were trying to stop these drugs from coming into our country so that
Got it.
our
That's
country
not what it was,
people wasn't
though.
using them. That's what the part of it was. A big part of the war on drugs was stopping drugs from getting in.
I don't think so.
Yes.
Not as far as I know.
Yes.
If you say so, but that's not what that's not what happened.
That's the only part they were even remotely successful at, and they weren't even successful.
Oh, sure, but that was just part of it. Another big part of it was because they were like the only way to help these, low income communities, which was all the black communities in LA mostly, whatever,
Miami.
is to fucking Miami is to get the drugs out of there. And that just meant basically, stop and frisk, like being able to arrest anybody for whatever reason. So that, that was kind of like the Post-it note that they attached to try and like hide it to like this bigger thing, but evidently became a huge deal, racist and like, just fucked up everybody. And obviously that's what, we're still dealing with today with all the people in jail for like misdemeanor weed crimes.
I think that I think you're past the I think that we're past the point of like weed being illegal. However, I look at a state like Oregon. There is no drug laws in Oregon right now. Right?
Yeah, they're
Oregon?
like, well, they're not legal, but
They're
basically everything's
decriminalized?
decriminalized. Yeah.
That's still a little different. I thought it was just like a free for all going on out there, like walk into a store and buy your black tar heroin.
Nope, they haven't done that yet. But when they do, I'm sure you'll be able to use that Amazon Pay and just walk right out with it.
That's too far. That they should never allow that.
No, of course not. But that's what I'm saying.
You're saying
no.
Okay.
I was just making a joke. But the war on drugs should be like opioids and stuff. How about that? How about the pharmaceutical companies that are lining your pockets in Washington? Those are the drugs we should be warring on.
We're anti-big farm podcast.
100%. That almost goes without saying. As much as we are pro waves, although that doesn't really.
We're not pro waves.
We're pro wave awareness.
Yes.
Okay, but we're anti big pharma.
Yeah.
Got it.
Except
we're figuring out
some stuff.
Sure.
But we're mostly anti-big pharma.
Absolutely. We should just get into the who would win of the week, I think.
Okay. Yeah, we've been going for.
I know.
We haven't.
We got to get it.
Yeah.
We got to lock it in. Because we got places to be. We got to do the who would win.
Yeah.
So the who would win this week, I know we're going to argue about it, but it's Spider-Man versus Luke Skywalker. When we were talking about this beforehand, like what are we going to do for the who would win? The first thing you brought up was the Force.
Well, yeah. So can I
sure
say my, because I know that you have, we kind of stopped ourselves because we almost started and we're like, wait, we gotta. So I was in to do this fight, but my thing about it is, how does one? Like you can't. There's no way to decombat the Force if you can't also use the Force.
Mm-hmm.
The fight's over. Who would win of the week? Vote now.
Here's what I am proposing.
No.
Matthew, you just have to let me say this. You just have to let me work this out, okay? We're going to have a civil discussion about this.
Can our editor play the Jeopardy theme song over this part of him talking?
So, the editor is me, and I'm not going to do that. You can hum it if you want. My question is, can Spider-Man's spider sense alert him to the Force as it's about to be used? And I'm not talking... Because if, let's say Luke Skywalker uses the Force to, like, lift a big rock and throw it at Spider-Man, even if Spider-Man's not looking, obviously Spider-Man's going to know that rock is coming. Right. So my question is, if Luke Skywalker is just about to like force push Spider-Man, will Spider-Man's spider sense go off? I think it might.
It doesn't matter.
Of course it matters.
How?
Because if his spider sense alerts him, he can move.
I don't.
For sure.
Just because you're running, it doesn't mean the force isn't going to work on you.
No, but
like
here's
the
the
force.
thing.
When you use the force, you're like using it on a person or an object. It doesn't matter if they're jumping, running away. You know what I mean? You're not like you don't have to hit them with the force.
Right.
You're using the force on somebody. So even if Spider-Man's spidey senses tell him that the force is about to be used on him, he can't do anything about it.
I see what you mean.
Like if you know what I mean? Like if Darth Vader goes to hit him with the choke that he hits everybody with, or if Luke Skywalker does that, that's who he's fighting, right?
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna be able to stop that. So let me tell you this though, and I'll play devil's advocate on myself. I'll work into your argument here. A big thing about the Force and the way that people do escape the use of the Force is to break focus.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's getting forced in the neck, and even if he's choking, because how they're always like this, he can still hit Luke in the face with a web, force hold to be done. But eventually the Force beats Spider-Man. Spider-Man's only option then is to run away, and he's not able to run away because this is a fight. They have to fight.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually he's going to lose to the Force. Because if I was Luke Skywalker, he doesn't have his lightsaber here, or does have a lightsaber?
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, my
absolutely.
God.
Spider-Man has fought people with more dangerous weapons
I
than
know,
lightsabers.
but not the Force.
Not the Force, that's true.
And even though Spider-Man can take a hit, like when he gets thrown into a wall by a big scary monster, he usually takes a second to get up. The monster just has to like get to him there then, and he's usually up by then. So I would say that if the Force is used against him to like combat him for just a second, Luke Skywalker, zoom.
Okay, so for the
lightsaber through the chest.
I've got a few things to say here.
Thanks for coming, Peter.
So for the Force to be effective on Spider-Man, Luke has to use the Force directly on him. Can't be using any objects.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to throw objects at him. Spider-Man would, get out of the way. Unless
what you said about focusing. Oh, wait, let me finish my point. Sorry. So it has to be used to manipulate Spider-Man directly. I don't think that Luke can force push Spider-Man using Spider-Man's own momentum into a wall hard enough to really hurt Spider-Man or even mess with him. There's no way I think that Luke can force push Spider-Man into a wall harder than like the Rhino can punch him.
But
right?
What I would do if I was Luke is I would force hold him in place. You know what I mean? Force hold him in place.
Mm-hmm.
So now he can't shoot. Well, he's frozen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's stuck there. And then force hold him in place, get right up like almost you to me, and then lightsaber through the chest.
Right.
I know that there's going to be a half a millisecond probably between when he drops focus on the Force to go lightsaber. I don't know. Can they use their lightsabers and use the Force at the same time? I don't think I've ever seen that.
For sure.
My God, then Spider-Man's got no chance.
If you have the enough concentration.
If you're Luke Skywalker, then
right.
Spider-Man's toast. He could literally freeze him in tie his hands down via Force so he can't shoot a web or anything,
right.
and go up and stab him in the chest with a lightsaber.
See, I wish I had a better understanding of the Force exactly, because I just don't. I guess it doesn't make sense. I guess you're right. I guess it doesn't really make sense that Spider-Man would be able to avoid the Force. But to what you said about focusing, which is the most important thing when using the Force, is you have to be able to focus. I was literally just listening to Patton Oswalt say this, who's obviously Spider-Man expert. One of the things that Peter Parker does the best, better than any other superhero, is his ability to disrupt the focus of his opponents. Because if you read Spider-Man comics, and they do it a little in the movies, Spider-Man, when he's fighting, is always talking, is always getting in the head of his opponent.
That's his thing.
That's his thing. He is always able to get in the head of the opponent.
But you're talking about Luke Skywalker. You're talking about, like,
Master
the Jedi of all Jedis.
Yep. Yes, I am. And I think that Peter Parker's skills in that sense are refined enough, because especially if it starts looking like Luke's really going to get him, his survival instinct is gonna really kick in, and he's just gonna be spitting.
Luke Skywalker, his ability, he's so in tune with the Force. His ability to block all of that other stuff out wouldn't matter.
I don't know. Look at him in the Last Jedi. He's a little frazzled in that movie.
I mean, he's got a lot going on in the side when you're talking about him fighting and against other Jedis and stuff, with it, the way that his bloodline works, and his mom's, dad's brother, sister, cousin, uncle, everybody's, you know what I mean? Peter Parker doesn't have that over his head.
What do you mean? Peter Parker's got tons of problems. He's got more problems than anybody else.
No, he doesn't. That's why Luke Skywalker was frazzled. He's got too much going on when it comes to fights like that.
Okay.
Because there's so many other things to think about.
Right. Which, again, sounds to me like Spider-Man could use it to his advantage.
No, because Spider-Man doesn't have the same power over Luke Skywalker, as far as, like, you're not, relate. Like, he doesn't have any juicy gossip.
I understand what you mean now.
Spider-Man's not going to be able to frazzle him enough to impair his ability to use the Force, because he is Luke Skywalker. There's no way.
I think that
he is.
I think he would.
The Master Jedi, Andrew.
Yes, absolutely. But I really think that Spider-Man would be able to displace his focus, because, and I might not be right about this, about how the Force works, but my imagining of how the Force works is like you have to lock on to the fucking molecules of whatever object you are trying to manipulate or something, right? And so that means that's got to be harder to do on a human than it is with anything else, a rocket, chair, whatever. And especially with Spider-Man, because he's always not just moving around. And there's so many crazy things happening with his body that are different from the average human. So right there, he's already got a tiny bit of an edge. And then, like I said, I honestly do think that Spider-Man's going to be able to disrupt his focus.
All right, well,
enough.
then let me pose you this question.
Okay.
Then who wins the fight?
I think Spider-Man wins.
No, because even if Spider-Man is able to keep himself alive, that's all it is going to be able to keep himself alive. Like, his ability to impair Luke Skywalker's focus from killing him, I don't agree with that argument, but if that's your argument, okay. But he's not going to be able to impair him enough from actually getting to him.
For Spider-Man to get close enough to Luke Skywalker?
There's no way.
I don't know, man. That seems to me like Spider-Man's skill set. And Spider-Man is, I mean, he's superhumanly strong.
So even if Spider-Man is able to stay out of harm's way from himself for the Force, say he slings a web to pull down a giant pillar onto Luke. Luke keeps that up with the Force. While Luke's doing that, Spider-Man starts to come up on him. Luke can just throw that away and then go back to dealing with Spider-Man. And now Spider-Man is then open to the Force being used against him.
But that all has to happen so quickly. And I'm saying, but in the amount of time that Luke needs to just, because he can obviously quickly push that shit to the side where Spider-Man try and drop something on him. But that's all the time Spider-Man needs. And I
No,
also
it's
think
not.
it absolutely is, Matthew. He's so
But
fast. and
no,
so
but
strong.
Luke is going to be equally as fast, and your argument still becomes invalid in the sense where Luke is going to be able to use the Force on Spider-Man. He is the Master Jedi. It is
But
the
he's not
going
going to
to
be able to concentrate
It is the
like all of that
strongest
in
thing
a
in the
switch
world.
focus like that so much.
He
so
is the
quickly.
Master Jedi. It won't
Okay,
come
yes.
down to that. He will be able to instantly impair Spider-Man with the Force. From the second the fight starts. From the second the fight starts, Spider-Man stands no chance against the Force. He doesn't have a way to combat it. Him trying to chirp Luke Skywalker isn't going to stop Luke Skywalker from using the Force on Spider-Man and inevitably killing him. It's not. It's just not.
I just think that with
No.
Spidey's powers and his Spidey sense, I feel like
The
he's going to be
Spidey
able to
sense
get out
has
of it.
nothing to do with
I
it,
think
Andrew.
it does.
Even if Spider-Man knows that the Force is coming, how does he stop it?
I don't know. I honestly
doesn't.
think there has to be.
There's
I feel
not.
like there's some kind of strange
There's
circumference
not.
of the Force. That's what I think.
There's not.
If you say so, but I'm not
If
so
Luke
sure.
Skywalker's standing there and wants to use the Force on Spider-Man, he's going to use the
gonna
Force on Spider-Man. Doesn't matter if Spider-Man's hop, skip, and jumping around. He's going to use the Force
I
on him.
just think that Spider-Man has been in tougher spots than that, and he's
Not
made it out.
against the Force. Spider-Man's never fought against the Force for a damn good reason.
I don't know what to tell you, Matthew.
Like, do
And
you think...
Spider-Man-
Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Spider-Man versus Doctor Strange, who wins?
It's hard not to go with Spider-Man.
Oh, my God.
He's beaten everybody, Matthew. He always finds what he's very intelligent. The other thing is, with basically anyone, all he needs is one tap. People don't realize how strong Spider-Man is.
I do, but he's not going to tap. If he's close enough to tap Luke Skywalker is lightsabering him in half.
Okay, Spider-Man.
Jedis
Listen.
There's Stormtrooper sitting there firing a full clip at a Jedi. Jedi vroom, 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 blocking every bullet with the lightsaber.
Are you
You think
familiar
that's-
with Order 66?
Oh, my God.
Are you familiar with Order 66?
What
'Cause
is
it
it?
didn't work. When all the fucking clones killed all those Jedis.
Okay, but not
Didn't work
the
so great
Master
for him there.
Jedi. And if you're telling me, even if Spider-Man is the equivalent to as fast as a bullet gets fired, he's not faster than a bullet. Andrew. Like, shut up.
He's probably not.
So it doesn't matter. He's getting lightsabered in half.
Okay, here's what happens. Spider-Man
Here's what happens is that this argument is done. No.
web the lightsaber, web the
He's
fucking
not gonna-
pulling thing down. He absolutely could. I know he could. And when Luke is focused on both getting that shit off, make sure something heavy doesn't fall on him, and getting his
he doesn't need
lightsaber
to do
back.
both at the same time.
So doing them sequentially
The second
leaves even a larger opening for Spider-Man.
Listen, Spider-Man, play this out in your head.
Uh-huh.
Fight starts. First thing Spider-Man does, pillar, pull down. The second it's pulled down, Luke Skywalker, Force away. That's... Spider-Man can be coming right at... Spider-Man could be here already by the time... But it doesn't... Boom. Boom. He's dead.
It's both happening simultaneously. Like, he's pulling something down and webbing Luke's lightsaber at the same time, though. Do you understand? And like I said, all he needs is one punch. All
But
Spider-Man
then,
needs is one
okay,
punch.
so you're still missing the biggest point of my argument that is correct, that is factual, that you refuse to accept, is that Luke Skywalker will be able to use the Force on Spider-Man. Yes!
But Spider-Man distracting him in the way I just described.
So he throws the shit away and he webs the lightsaber. That's all simultaneous then?
Those two things, yeah.
So then it's that so
And
fuck the
it's-
lightsaber
it's-
then.
It's obvious that there's some
What is he
strange
doing with the
connection.
what is he doing with the lightsaber when he webs it? Because you can't just web a he's flinging it away.
No. Yes, of course, Matthew. Yes, obviously. But
Good fight. Good.
No, man.
Good fight.
No.
It's over.
No.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
That's all that Spider-Man needs to do, because then Luke is preoccupied with these two things.
No. This thing is already done. This stuff is art. You're talking about how fast Spider-Man is?
Yeah.
Why are you not understanding that his ability to use the Force will be just as quick as it was for Spider-Man to do double webs?
It is as quick. But that's enough time for Spider-Man.
No, it's not. Because
yes, it is, man. I'm telling you it is.
Even if Spider-Man, here's the thing, is it's going to take longer to get the lightsaber back than it is to just push the rocks that way. That's as Spider-Man's pulling it down, Luke Skywalker's pushing it away. So
you could even...
second that this is done, and this, even if this is started, and the lightsaber's not there yet, he does this. And then Spider-Man again just can't move. He's forced. Spider-Man cannot combat the Force. There's nothing that Spider-Man can do
So he
to
has
stop.
to...
No.
So he has to get Luke to focus his Force abilities on other stuff.
But that's fractions of a second. And I understand what you're saying, that Spider-Man's fast. It's not enough time, because all Luke has to do is this, and Spider-Man's toast again. It's this and then this. Even if Spider-Man had 1 second, 1 full second from the time that he pulls that down, it would not be enough time.
And I think that it would.
But it wouldn't, based on literally everything that's ever happened in Star Wars. Even to the fact where Luke could go like this. Quick demo for, not everybody's going to be able to see this, but Luke can go like this. And that throws not only the rocks, but Spider-Man away with him. Throw Spider-Man under the rocks. I know then, he'll web out. But then that whole scene again is done. That whole argument that you just had is done. Now Luke has his lightsaber back already, and Spider-Man's got nothing else to pull down on him. Or even if he does, he can just do the same shit again. One big swoop of Force. And throw that shit out of the way, including Spider-Man.
And if that happens, I honestly think that Spider-Man, because again, he's, aside from being super strong, yes, he's very resilient.
Yes. And then what's his next move?
He just keeps distracting Luke with different things.
So then Luke just keeps doing the same thing. This is what I'm saying. If you think that the Force doesn't do enough to Spider-Man for Luke to be able to kill him, then the fight just ends in a draw. It goes to decision. Because there's no way that we're talking...
But let's say it just goes on and on and on and on and on. I keep saying it. Spider-Man only needs to touch Luke once, and he's out.
Spider-Man only needs to get close enough to Luke once for Luke to lightsaber him in half.
It's basic. You have to understand. It's
this
basically
is the stupidest fucking argument I've ever heard in your life.
But honestly, because of the spider sense. But honestly, because of the spider sense, being able because of the spider sense, honestly. Being able to hit Spider-Man like with a lightsaber with anything is basically impossible.
No, it is not.
Yeah, it 100% is. You try whacking Spider-Man with something, it's not going to work. Ever.
Here's the thing. Okay, hitting him with a lightsaber is going to be difficult. I'm not denying that. The man can dodge bullets.
Mm-hmm.
But then it comes down to the same argument. Like, then there's nobody that wins this fight. And again, Force plus lightsaber equals dead Spider-Man. It's an easy equation. There's no way around it for Spider-Man. And I'm so sick of this argument, I don't want to have it for another second.
Okay, we'll lock it in. Because we're obviously not going to...
Luke Skywalker.
It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man takes it.
Vote
on this one.
Vote on this one. I'm so just dumbfounded that you don't think that the Force can combat Spider-Man. I'm not saying that Spider-Man wouldn't be able to use tactics to, make it a challenging go. But we're talking about the Force, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man can't escape the Force. If he's in the Force, he can't escape the Force. his words aren't going to break Luke Skywalker, Master Jedi's focus. They're just not. You don't become a Master Jedi and have your focus broken by friggin' Peter Parker.
But we see in the sequels.
I said by Peter Parker.
Yeah, but he's excellent at that. That's a huge part of his skill set.
Not against the Master Jedi, Andrew. And even if it is, it's not long enough. It's just not long enough. Again, even if he is, then the fight ends in a draw.
Maybe. But I still think Spider-Man takes it.
I don't.
I understand.
Vote. Show up to the clubhouse if you want. I don't even give a fuck. I don't. This is a stupid argument.
I liked it. I think it was a great one.
It was dumb. I don't know. I just don't. It's the fucking Force, bro. It's the Force.
And he's Spider-Man. If anybody can do it, it's Spider-Man.
Who dies in space where Star Wars fucking takes place.
But he comes back.
Yeah, no thanks to him.
I think he could do it. I really think he could do it.
Maybe if he was in his Spider-Man Iron Man suit.
Like the Iron Spider.
And even then.
That could be.
Even then, it still doesn't solve the issues that I have. But the only thing I'm thinking about then is then he has more also like Iron Man powers. So he can't combat the Force, but he doesn't need to be able to move
to do that. Yeah, right. So it's tighter then, but
I would say if he's in that suit, he probably wins. I'll give you that. But a regular old Spider-Man does not beat the Force.
I got you, and I think still classic suit. I think he could pull it off.
Stupid.
I got you, but I think Spider-Man.
Do we have anything else to talk about?
Nothing's gonna beat that. That's a good way to wrap it up. We should get out of here anyways. We gotta go.
Fuck. The thing is too, is I fucking love the new Spider-Man movies, and now I'm just so pissed at Spider-Man. You ruined Spider-Man for me.
That's on you. That's got nothing to do with me.
It's not on me.
I think so. I can't ruin Spider-Man for you. You can only ruin Spider-Man for yourself.
I Spider-Man's still super. He's probably like my favorite Marvel superhero.
Yeah, Spider-Man's the best.
It's very relatable.
That's the whole deal about Spider-Man. Is like that guy, because the thing about Tony Stark.
And you want to know another way?
I'm literally in the middle of a sentence. I don't care. But Peter Parker's got to deal with, like, Peter Parker is poor. Like, he doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
He's got, like, real world problems. And it's not just like, his girlfriend is mad at him, but it's also a ton of other stuff that's piled on top of that.
You want to know another thing that makes him relatable? Is that he would lose to the Force. Just like we all would.
Nice.
My fuck you of the week this week is Andrew.
I can't believe it's taken this long for me to fall into the spot.
Well, Sam kind of deflected from you for a bit.
Right.
Because if it weren't for this conversation, he would still be my fuck you. I'd be like 4 weeks running.
Yeah, Sam Phillips. That was a good episode. Go back and listen.
Of the week. Closing arguments. No, not arguments. Closing notes. Vote on the Hoodwin of the Week. Clubhouse, 4 p.m. Fridays. Andrew Canada. Come have some fun. Vote for Luke Skywalker. Teespring.com. Are you missing anything?
No, that's it. Also, all those links are in the in the show description.
Description. You can leave comments in the show description.
Well, you can leave comments on the video.
No, like on Apple Podcast, you can leave comments in the show description.
What do you mean? Like you as a consumer of the podcast can leave comments on it? Okay.
Like, let me see. Let's see if we have any comments. Podcast gonna start playing.
I mean, probably not. I didn't even know this was something you could do.
How do I go to, like, the show? How do I click on our...
Go to
wait. Details. No, I want to click on... Oh, right here. Yeah. Oh, we got one. We got a few. We got 2.
Oh, boy.
January 28th, 2021. Such a dope podcast. These are the guys right here. 5 stars. Thank you, person. 1 year ago. Amazing 10 of 10, 5 stars. Totally worth the listen to anyone that enjoys current events and sports talk. These 2 guys are hilarious. Keep up the good work, boys. We got 2 comments.
Nice.
We have 12 ratings. All of them are 5 star. I've never rated the show. I don't like it enough to give it a 5-star rating, and why would I be the one to ruin it? So leave us your comments if you have something that you think is worth noting.
Sure. have your voice heard with the Clubhouse.
Yeah,
That's
and go to
Clubhouse. Yeah. All right, let's get out of here.
All right, Andy, I love you.
Love you too. Thanks, folks. See ya.